The solution is right in front of our eyes. Get up, do something. MHC on the rise. Think positive. Oh, we gotta stay positive. Yeah. We can learn to love each other. Like my sister and my brother. Mhc on the rise.
Good evening, Martinsville and Henry County. Welcome to MHC on the Rise, where it's our goal to create a positive conversation and find solutions to the issues that impact Martinsville and Henry County. And I have a young lady with me tonight who's, it seems to be her job, regardless of where she's working or what she's doing, to help keep Martinsville and Henry County on the rise. And first, I'll let you introduce yourself, and then we'll just kind of, talk about your new job and a great program that you guys are bringing to Martinsville and Henry County.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
My name's Debbie Seals, and I work for the American Lung Association as a program specialist, and I've worked there since February. Prior to that, I worked for Piedmont Community Services for 6 years and worked in program. And then for many, many years before that, I worked for the Girl Scouts. So my job has always been working with young people and adults to try and help them achieve their potential and live the best lives that they possibly can. With the American Lung Association, my position is funded by a grant from the Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield Foundation. The focus of this grant is to provide smoking cessation programs for pregnant smokers. There were only 7 grants awarded in the United States, and our area, Southwest Virginia, Southside, and 6 counties in West Virginia received the grant because of the prevalence of tobacco use among our citizens. The average, 19% of the adults smoke in Virginia.
Wow.
That's on average, 19%.
Wow.
But it goes as high as 32% in Southside and Southwest Virginia.
And let's start there. 19% average across the state, but that's 13% higher in our locality, Southside. I know that's not just Martinsville, Henry County, but all of Southside. What contributes to that high percentage in Southside Virginia?
Part of it is the history of the state of Virginia. When I taught Too Good for Drugs while working at Piedmont, I would go into the schools and we talk about the gateway drugs. And when we talk about tobacco, I would ask the children, have you learned anything about tobacco in Virginia history? And they would say, it was the cash crop. So historically, tobacco has been a big part of our community. We raised tobacco. Even my husband worked on tobacco on his family farm when he was growing up. And also, a larger percentage of people who live in poverty use tobacco. The very people who really can't afford to use tobacco do. And people with mental illness use tobacco. People who are under a lot of stress. So if you're suffering economically and you're under a lot of stress, chances are that you will use tobacco.
And it's interesting because there's so much research and so much information out there that tells us stay away from tobacco. So how do people continue to use tobacco without, adhering to that research?
Well, first of all, many times young people will start using tobacco because they think they look cool, or they're trying to emulate their parents, or they just want to, teenagers have to do something that's a little outside the box. They're trying to break away and become adults. So when they start to use tobacco, and the tobacco companies are all about people using tobacco.
Absolutely.
And they spend billions of dollars in the state of Virginia to make sure that young people start smoking. But when people start smoking or using spit tobacco, there's a chemical in the tobacco called nicotine, and nicotine is more addictive than heroin or cocaine. So those receptors, the addiction receptors in the brain, they'll change and they'll never go back to what they were. For example, a woman who's pregnant and smokes, her child is born addicted to nicotine.
Oh, wow.
So those nicotine receptors they've reared their ugly heads. They're not ever going back. The brain chemistry has changed. And so the children then are more likely to become addicted to drugs. But primarily it's, I think, our history, and once people start using tobacco, they become addicted so quickly.
And just,
That's why they use it.
And just for our audience, you said tobacco is more addictive than heroin and cocaine, but we know that, heroin and cocaine does, much more damage. They create, I guess I'm not the expert, with drug addiction, and, you have people who are robbing and stealing.
It's a different kind of addiction.
Yeah, clarify that for us.
Different kind of damage.
Okay, different kind of damage.
For example, lung cancer is the #1 cancer killer in the United States.
Okay.
And now both men and women have it as their #1 killer. Mm-hmm. So maybe if you smoke cigarettes, you're not going to go out and rob a store to get that fix. You're not going to share needles, but you're going to be doing damage that could lead to lung cancer and other diseases. Did you know that the #1 cause of bladder cancer is tobacco?
I had no idea.
A lot of people don't know. They're just so surprised. There are so many diseases that we're finding are exacerbated by tobacco use. Alzheimer's. If a pregnant woman smokes, her babies are more likely to suffer from SIDS. Also, ADHD and behavior problems when they get older, slower development. So there's a myriad of side effects to tobacco use. And one of the reasons it's so addictive is if someone takes a puff of a cigarette, within 7 seconds it's reached the brain.
Wow.
They're more relaxed. It's an appetite suppressant. And so you have all these good feelings. Maybe it's not the same as being drunk or being high on, heroin or cocaine. But nonetheless, people feel more relaxed.
Yeah. And of course, that enough is, enough to say stay away from tobacco.
Right.
But I guess the other part is you mentioned kids, and not just a woman who's pregnant, but people who smoke around kids. I know we just recently had a law passed about smoking in cars with kids under 8 years old.
That's right.
So kind of talk about the impact that smoking can have on, kids, who receive it through secondhand.
Well, secondhand smoke is really almost more dangerous than firsthand smoke. Because let's say you're my child and I'm smoking a cigarette. I'm inhaling the smoke through a filter. You're inhaling the smoke from the end of my cigarette, and there is no filter. So you're inhaling the drugs that I'm inhaling, and maybe even to a stronger extent.
And I guess that's reason for parents to stay away from places where smoke is heavy, or in most public facilities, there is no smoking
That's
allowed.
right.
But
That's right.
there are people's homes who smoke. I mean, it's a good idea to keep your kids away from that. And
Well, we were talking before the show, and today I spoke to the Henry County Public School nurses about asthma. And tobacco use exacerbates asthma attacks and symptoms. And I can remember teaching Too Good for Drugs in elementary schools, and children would raise their hand if we'd talk about asthma. And they would just smell like tobacco because their parents, either not realizing how detrimental it is, or maybe they just choose to continue smoking. So the secondhand smoke that these children inhale really could be life-threatening. And also we have a third-hand smoke now.
Okay.
Third-hand smoke is after the smoke has cleared the air, there's a residue of oils and chemicals that will go on the floor, the furniture, counters, food, and for example, if you smoke cigarettes and you have in the house and you have a toddler crawling around on the floor, that residue has gone on the floor in the carpeting on the baby's toys, so that when the baby puts toys in his or her mouth, or also puts his or her hands in the mouth, then that child is receiving that third-hand smoke.
Oh, wow. So we need to think about that on many different levels.
That's right.
And a lot of people are, I guess, trying to get away from smoking tobacco to the e-cigarettes and the vapors and the smokeless cigarettes. You know, and you get different research, but, you know, I'm going to put you in the category of an expert. Talk about those a little bit.
Thank you. What flattery. I really appreciate that. Last week, I attended the RASAP conference in Danville, and don't ask me what RASAP stands for, because I never know that. And the topic was e-cigarettes.
Okay.
And this month, the FDA is finally taking control over e-cigarettes. Prior to this month, e-cigarettes, there was no control. Mm-hmm. So you never knew what you were inhaling. Investigators, researchers have looked at different e-cigarettes, and what they advertise is inside the product isn't. The amount of nicotine. Because when you use an e-cigarette, you are inhaling nicotine.
Oh, wow.
And research has shown that there is secondhand smoke. You are still addicted. You're not cutting down your addiction. And they found, the researchers, that there's a condition called popcorn lung.
Popcorn lung.
Yes. The flavorings that are used in e-cigarettes, the e-cigarette companies will say, oh, you know, the flavorings are approved by the FDA. They're wonderful, but they're not approved to be heated and inhaled. And so when people inhale the e-cigarette flavoring, they've noticed that their lungs develop these growths that look like popcorn on the inside, and it's reminiscent of years ago when people worked in textile mills and they would be inhaling it's the similar growth. So e-cigarettes do damage lungs. And, you know, some people are really creative, and they've started using other kinds of drugs rather than just nicotine in the e-cigarettes. They've modified them so that they can use marijuana in the e-cigarettes.
Oh, wow.
Maybe cocaine.
Yeah.
So, as the American Lung Association does not approve e-cigarettes as a smoking cessation device.
Okay. And we're going to take a break, because I want to, because our teenagers, you know, it's cool for them, you know, and they think it's cool, they think it's okay, they think it's harmless. Want to talk more about that, but we definitely want to make sure we talk about your Smoke and Mirrors Tobacco Cancer and You Conference, which is going to be August 27th.
Yes.
So Martinsville, Henry County, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and talk more about the American Lung Association and some of the great things they're bringing to Martinsville and Henry County.
The solution is right in front of our eyes. Get up, do something. MHC on the rise. Think positive. Oh, we gotta stay positive. Yeah. We can learn to love each other. Like my sister and my brother. Mhc on the rise.
Blue Ridge Nissan is growing fast with a new location now open in Martinsville. Come in today and we'll give you up to $4,000 more for your trade. Plus, get 2 years complimentary maintenance with every vehicle purchase. With our guaranteed credit approval, you could be driving a new car today. That's right, a new car today and $4,000 more for your trade. This event, these offers will end without notice. So get here fast. The all-new Blue Ridge Nissan in Martinsville, across from the Speedway on Greensboro Road, or visit theblueridgeway.com.
Martinsville Family Dentistry would like to invite you to experience Zoom. Zoom is a customized whitening experience that's created to make you look your best, give you dynamic results with a whiter, brighter smile in less than an hour. Over 10 million people have benefited from Zoom professional whitening treatment and have experienced the way a radiant smile can improve their self-confidence and their overall happiness. Patients have reported 5 to 8 shades whiter smile in just an hour. Martinsville Family Dentistry is taking new patients, so stop our office at 25 Cleveland Avenue, Suite A in Martinsville.
Loan specialist. Usually that's someone who fights for your signature then sells your loan to Never Never Land, never to speak with you again. At Martinsville First Savings Bank, we don't sell our loans, and we're locally owned and operated, so all decisions are made at 25 West Church Street in Uptown Martinsville. We've been serving the South Side since 1924. Proof that serving you remains our focus. For more information, call 276-638-8771 or visit martinsvillefirst.com. FDIC insured, equal housing lender.
At Memorial Hospital of Martinsville in Henry County, we understand the power of home. Knowing that Memorial Hospital brings the latest technology and the best medical professionals together for you, our families, friends, and neighbors, right here in Martinsville, is sometimes the best medicine. When you need cardiac care, time is critical. Our expert cardiologists are just moments away, meaning better outcomes for you and your heart. The best in care, the closeness of family and friends. That's the power of home.
Have you ever been so busy that you neglected your car? Stop by one of our 2 locations for a free 21-point inspection. We offer full-service oil changes, tire rotations, radiator flushes, and complete engine diagnostics. And don't forget, at Quick Lube, we offer a loyalty rewards program for every 6 full-service oil changes free. Quick Lube serving you with 2 locations, Ridgeway and Martinsville, or visit us online at quicklubeva.com.
The solution is right in front of our eyes. Get up, do something. MHC on the rise. Think positive. Oh, we gotta stay positive. Yeah. We can learn to love each other. Like my sister and my brother. Mhc on the rise.
Welcome back, Martinsville and Henry County. I'm here with Miss Debbie Seals, and we're talking about cancer, tobacco, e-cigarettes, and just how all of these impact us probably a lot more than most of us realize. And the American Lung Association and many other sponsors are bringing a great program, to Martinsville and Henry County. And if you just give us a little bit information about that, then we'll just jump back into our conversation.
Okay, I'd be delighted to. The Massey VCU Cancer Research and Resource Center, which is located in Danville, is the main sponsor of this Smoke and Mirrors, Tobacco, Cancer, and You, the conference on August 27th. It is a free conference, complimentary continental breakfast and lunch will be served. So not only will your body be fed, but your mind will be fed too.
Awesome.
And it's New College Institute from
8:30
until 1:30. It is for anyone who is interested in learning more about our community, as well as about lung cancer. And you mentioned e-cigarettes before the commercial break. There's a wonderful speaker on e-cigarettes and smokeless tobacco. But first, I'll just mention there are lots of sponsors, and we have worked very hard to bring this conference to the NCI building, and it's just going to be fabulous. Dr. Michael Boyd will be speaking, and he is a local pulmonologist, and he's going to talk about the types of lung cancer and early detection. And we have the highest morbidity rate in the state for lung cancer.
Oh, wow.
So more people are diagnosed in the later stages of cancer, and we have the highest death rate from lung cancer.
And we talked a little bit before the break of, one, we have high smoking, but we also have people who are less likely to go in to the doctor and get diagnosed.
That's right, that's right.
So you combine those two together, that's where we have that high rate of death because of lung cancer.
Right, that's right. And it is difficult to diagnose until the latter stages. And so that's why early detection is so important. And so Dr. Boyd is going to speak to that, the early detection. And then Ms. King from the American Cancer Society is going to talk about local, state, and national statistics. I hated math in school, but I love statistics because I think it really opens your eyes to see what's going on, either good statistics or the ones that maybe aren't so good. We're going to be having cancer statistics, and I think people will really open their eyes and realize this is a huge problem.
Absolutely.
And then Carlin Raffi is going to speak about the local lung cancer study. I was part of a group a research group, Virginia Tech Research, to study the outcomes of lung cancer in our community. And so questions were formulated, and the members worked really hard and interviewed people in the community to gather all the information they possibly could. And so she's going to introduce the findings, which I think will be of interest to the general public.
Oh, I'm sure.
Not just health professionals. And then Pam Ray, if you are interested at all in vaping and smokeless tobacco, e-cigarettes, she is the person to hear. I've heard her speak 2 or 3 times, and she is fabulous. She will give you the latest information. And I think it'll really open your eyes, because sometimes parents are sort of turning, the other cheek and saying, oh, well, I'd rather have my child smoke e-cigarettes than use tobacco.
Exactly.
Well, there's not a significant difference when it comes to side effects.
Wow.
And then last but not least, Linda Hancock from the Wellness Resource Center at VCU is going to talk about the psychology of addiction, because it's just really interesting how people are addicted. There's 3 chains of addictions. One is behavior, one is psychological, and then the other one would be social. And people become addicted. They're addicted to nicotine, but there may be different reasons why they're addicted.
Okay.
And when you see the flyer, you'll notice that there are lots of people who are involved in this. And you said you put it on your Facebook?
The flyer's on my Facebook page, so if anybody just want to search Garrett Dillard, you'll find that flyer, see all the sponsors. And there's one thing you definitely want to mention for some of our local medical personnel, because they can actually receive...
Right. For nurses, they'll receive 4.5 free, I repeat, free CEUs for attending the conference.
Awesome.
So there's really, it's of interest to the general public, and it'd be a great benefit to the nurses in our community, and really anyone affiliated with the medical field.
And I see that you must register by August 17th.
That's correct.
And you definitely want everybody to pre-register, and there is limited space.
There is. Only as many as the room will accommodate.
And so I would encourage anybody that deals with first-hand, second-hand, or as you mentioned, third-hand smoke, or if you have somebody who you would like to give them information and data about smoking and e-cigarettes and vapors and all that stuff, definitely come out.
Right.
But I want you to give us some of the stats that would encourage us to, come out into those who do smoke to, reconsider maybe some of their habits.
Okay.
You would just give us some of that data.
Well, I have some general information about lung cancer.
Okay.
And lung cancer is the leading cause of death in both men and women, of cancer death. And about almost 200,000 people in the United States will die as a result of lung cancer. Now, that's just lung cancer, not COPD, which cancer tobacco use can affect the heart, circulation, the lungs, mouth, as I mentioned, bladder, colon cancer. So there's a variety of diseases that can cause death. This is just with lung cancer.
Is that 200,000 per year? Oh, wow.
Per year.
Wow.
And billions of dollars are spent, even in the state of Virginia, because of lung cancer. And about 400,000 people have been, in America, have been diagnosed with lung cancer. And unfortunately, the long-term prognosis for people diagnosed is not great. And I can give you a personal example. My brother thought he had a bad cold, so he went to the doctor and got medicine for his cold. Then they thought, well, maybe he's got bronchitis. They can medicine for bronchitis. And then he lost his voice and could barely swallow, so they determined that he had throat cancer.
Oh, wow.
But upon further examinations, they found out that he really had lung cancer, and it had spread to his throat. So they did not diagnose the lung cancer. And so when they finally diagnosed it, he was in stage 4.
We have just about a minute. What would be that one stat that you hadn't mentioned, or that one fact that you think anyone who has any kind of connection to smoking, e-cigarettes, vapor, should hear that might encourage them to come to this conference?
The use of e-cigarettes by teens has increased over 600% in the last 5 years.
And I think that should cause every parent who has a teen or preteen to come out to hear, because I don't know if they, because cigarettes you can smell. If somebody walked in the house, you could tell they've been smoking. I don't know if e-cigarettes have that same effect or not, but parents could definitely get educated on what the signs and symptoms of e-cigarette use is.
That's right. And also, when we look at statistics, you mentioned statistics a little bit earlier. The statistics in our community are so high for the negative effects of tobacco. And I think anyone who has a vested interest in our community needs to learn as much as they can about lung cancer, the use of tobacco, addiction, because knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
And the more of us who learn about the dangers of tobacco use, the more of us will be out there talking about it, and hopefully its use will then decrease even more.
Absolutely.
As we get out and talk about it.
Absolutely. And I always appreciate
Thank you so
coming
much.
on. You always bring us so much great information. And
Thank you.
Martinsville, Henry County, let's definitely get out to smoke and mirrors, tobacco, cancer, and you. August 27th at the New College Institute. Go to my Facebook page, go to American Lung Association, get all the information, get registered, and come out. Next week, we're going to have Miss Melissa Giles, better known as Gmail, coming on the show with us and talking about her ventures in entrepreneurship. Let's have a great week, and let's do the things to keep MHC on the rise.
The solution is right in front of our eyes. Get up, do something, MHC on the rise. Think positive. Oh, we gotta stay positive. Yeah. We can learn to love each other. Like my sister and my brother. MHC on the rise.
Blue Ridge Nissan is growing fast with a new location now open in Martinsville. Come in today and we'll give you up to $4,000 more for your trade. Plus, get 2 years complimentary maintenance with every vehicle purchase. With our guaranteed credit approval, you could be driving a new car today. That's right, a new car today and $4,000 more for your trade. This event, these offers will end without notice. So get here fast. The all-new Blue Ridge Nissan in Martinsville, across from the Speedway on Greensboro Road, or visit theblueridgeway.com.
Martinsville Family Dentistry would like to invite you to experience Zoom. Zoom is a customized whitening experience that's created to make you look your best, give you dynamic results with a whiter, brighter smile in less than an hour. Over 10 million people have benefited from Zoom professional whitening treatment and have experienced the way a radiant smile can improve their self-confidence and their overall happiness. Patients have reported 5 to 8 shades whiter smile in just an hour. Martinsville Family Dentistry is taking new patients, so stop our office at 25 Cleveland Avenue, Suite A, today in Martinsville.
Loan specialist. Usually that's someone who fights for your signature, then sells your loan to Never Never Land, never to speak with you again. At Martinsville First Savings Bank, we don't sell our loans, and we're locally owned and operated, so all decisions are made at 25 West Church Street in Uptown Martinsville. We've been serving the South Side since 1924. Proof that serving you remains our focus. For more information, call 276-638-8771 or visit martinsvillefirst.com. FDIC insured, equal housing lender.
At Memorial Hospital of Martinsville in Henry County, we understand the power of home, knowing that Memorial Hospital brings the latest technology and the best medical professionals together for you, our families, friends, and neighbors. Right here in Martinsville, it's sometimes the best medicine. When you need cardiac care, time is critical. Our expert cardiologists are just moments away, meaning better outcomes for you and your heart. The best in care, the closeness of family and friends. That's the power of home.